And so, and the other thing I wanted to say about natural monarchy is you see kings cropping up everywhere if you understand them for what they are, which is a single leader that has ultimate authority and ultimate power within his jurisdiction and passes it on to his sons. And personally, in America, I believe through experience and through study that business and the private sector of business is basically where you have monarchy. And it's also where you have true governance, because the political field in America at this point is just entertainment. They don't do that much. I mean, they cause trouble when they're ready to, but as far as people's day to day and what they actually do on a regular basis, they follow their employers.
Okay, but are you really suggesting that Americans would like a monarch?
I think a lot of Americans would, yeah. I think American is a little bit.
Well, then they would be un-American.
Yeah, and that'd be fine. That'd be fine. I mean, one of the best things for an Aztec in the 1500s would be to be un-Aztec. So if you're the member of a barbarian nation, it might be good to oppose your barbaric culture.
No, if we are barbaric, we would seek to be civilized. We wouldn't want to remain as barbarians. So
exactly, and we are. We're America.
To strive towards, and you say you want to go back on 250 years of American history and go back to being governed by an absolute monarch. Well, I guess you
not really. No, because the English king was, the English king was not a very good king. That's the problem. See,
well, that's the problem.
The reason why God
eventually it ended. The institution of absolute monarchy has ended in Europe. And you seem to be saying you want to restore it. So that's a bit odd, but let's hear your reasons. And you're saying you think your fellow Americans would like a king. I happen to know that there was this No Kings demonstration organized by Democrats against Trump. I suppose with his many sons, a lot of Democrats thought with horror that he might one day become monarch of America. I mean, of course, that's exaggerated, but there it is. There is this fear that the American Republic will become, some kind of a banana republic. But there have been jokes made about it already, about America really being now a banana republic. But
America.
Okay, let's park the whole thing. I'm happy.
Okay, ask me a question.
Once upon a time, people did need a king because the idea was kings were the people. Sorry, kings were men who led their armies into battle. So it meant that he would be the bravest and the best at fighting and the most. And obviously you would need someone to lead you into battle, or nobody would fight a battle and everybody would run as soon as the enemy arrived. So I can see how organically the institution of monarchy came about. And then things changed, they got so big that, they wouldn't want to risk.
Do you think there was no king in peacetime? You think kingship is about war exclusively?
Yes, of course. Of course.
No, that's not true at all.
How would you know?
But my study of history, my study of the Bible, which is 9/10 history, and my study of history at large.
Well, the point is, if you became leader, there would be no idea of, human rights, the human rights of your people. If you were king, then of course
there are no human rights. I mean, if somebody is a problem, they lose their rights immediately. I mean,
exactly, and I guess the founding fathers,
there's no respect for rights, and rights was always a retarded thing, anyways, from the beginning when the Freemasons in France came up with it. They came up with it while killing and taking away people's rights left and right.
You keep talking over me. I mean, it would help you if you.
No, you talk over me. I haven't been able to answer one thing you said in the last few minutes.
What did you want?
There are many things I wanted to say. Huh?
Could we just stick to the subject of leadership? because somehow we're arguing about monarchy, but I'm saying that monarchy would be natural when when people had to fight wars, and they had to choose a strong man to help them fight against invaders, etc. And he would be the man who would lead his men into battle, and that would be regarded as crucial to the survival of your group. But such a man would not care much for the human rights of his people, and therefore the idea of a republic came about in Athens and Rome and America, once the Europeans settled in sufficient numbers. So
yeah, the problem with that is that these republics that you just listed were more abusive to their people than monarchs ever were.
Well, this is a subjective view that cannot be conclusively established. So perhaps we can just agree on, how things have been, without arguing.
I'd also disagree with your narrative. It's not like there was only kingship, and then people wanted protection from their king, so then the institution of republic came about. That's not true at all. I mean, republics have always come about. My study of history.
Well, you need to explain how, in one sentence. Because
how republics have come
we're
about?
Here to talk about leadership. So
republics generally came about in cities where there was not, a clear founder of the city, where you had a group, an oligarchy that needed to, look at Rome, for instance.
Okay, a city-state.
That's where a republic is. It's basically it's about governing a city where you just have a group of men that share authority. That's where republics came about.
Okay, so it would be, well, the most powerful men, the most intelligent men, the bravest men, men with natural.
Oh, typically the ones who start. I mean,
yeah.
It's typically the founders. No, it's typically the founders. It has more to do with precedent than it does with virtue or merit.
Yes, fine, but if you want to discuss your preferred subject of masculinity and how it is acknowledged and displayed, apart from being a man with broad shoulders and bulging biceps, then perhaps we could discuss that. I'm saying no man is.
Well, all these things are connected. That's what I'd love to get across to you, is that monarchy is leadership. Leadership is masculinity.
Yes, yes, but not all men are leaders.
That's why you have these natural leaders that come about, and I say in business in America is where you see it for the most part. You have these natural leaders come about and they act as kings in their particular domain. People don't like using the word because they associate it with these foolish things that are just bad examples of what a king really is. And that's what I was trying to say about leadership. Now, what you're talking about with war, yeah, you have masculinity and you have leadership in war, but because war is this particular situation where it's more emergent, it's more immediate, it's not as long term. It's actually less about kingship, and I'd say the leaders in war are more closely related to the concept of empire, of emperors, which is where you get the word emperor, imperator.
Yes, the one who gives orders.
Also dictator.
But back to the subject of leadership. Let us assume that there is a leader. I think what we're maybe arguing about is how we choose our leader. Is that not the case? I mean, I'm trying to make it easy for you. Really, so yeah, I'm saying,
I'm just impatient today because you really have a lot of things that you just don't understand. It's hard to overcome I've been dealing with.
Well, I mean, we might even agree.
The No Kings rally is a good example. Hippie boomers.
Yeah, because you're talking the whole time, and I'm trying to make things, easy for you, and say, with leaders. It would be, well, not all men are leaders. Men do have to choose an alpha male leader, don't they? And then the next question would be, how would they recognize that the person wanting to be leader is the best for them, who won't turn around, tell lies, abuse them, and not keep promises? And then I suppose the answer would be the manner by which they choose their leader. A monarch would be very exclusive. The subjects are not, consulted about who becomes king. It would be an oligarchy, as you say. It's only the top people who choose people amongst themselves, without regard for the preferences of the people below.
I mean,
this, I imagine, was what the
preferences
founding
of people
fathers
below.
sought to overcome.
It is difficult not to talk over you if you're talking when it's my turn to talk, So do you want me to answer?
Yes,
They
I do.
definitely-
When I'm silent, you can speak, and it would be great if you didn't, spend the time complaining about me talking over you. I'm trying to make things clearer. I mean, I know you would like it to be a monologue, but if it's just a monologue, people won't listen.
Oh, that's why. You're pissed off that E. Michael Jones talked over you and made you look stupid. That's why you're acting this way.
No, actually, that was one of the best streams I've had with him. But you have decided in your petulance to refer to some other people other than the subject at hand. So I'm trying to help you, discuss masculinity, and I'm saying, how would you choose a man to lead you? What qualities would you look for?
You know that somebody is in the running for leadership because they tell you what to do. The reason men want leaders is because they want somebody to tell them what to do. They decide to do what they're told by leaders, basically, for the most part, based on their experience with that particular person. So they observe that person over time, and that's how they know their virtues, especially the most important virtues for the task, such as integrity and simplicity and doing the things that they said they're going to do.
Okay, so they have to be honest. They have to keep promises. They have
No,
to.
they don't have to be. I mean, usually you don't have an option as far as the amount of people. One of the problems we have in America is people don't tell you what to do, and the ones who do are out of touch, so you can't get a hold of them. But no, usually of all the people that are telling you what to do, they're all liars, they're all cheaters, they're all thieves. And the problem is that you have so much of an experience with that even when an honest person does tell you what to do, it takes quite a long time to overcome your expectation that he's lying.
I understand. So now you're complaining about the political process that all the leaders you have.
No, I'm not. I'm complaining about business and everyday living. This has very little to do with politics. I'm not talking about politics at all.
Okay, so you're talking about business leadership, etc. But I was hoping to discuss, the qualities of masculinity in theory, anyway. And I'm agreeing with you that there seems to be very little masculinity that being displayed, and therefore we need to ask ourselves, what is masculinity? And you're going to say, or have you already said charisma, strength, courage, etc.?
Well, I mean, one of the reasons there's a lack of masculinity being displayed, as you said, is because of what I've been saying, that you don't find leadership in politics anymore because politics is entertainment. And even in the like the financial world, the feminine traits are promoted because the economy has been so inflated by usury over time that the only things that are rewarded are feminine activities for making money. Whereas a man digs a hole in his backyard, he's not considered like a laborer for doing that. Yeah, he's considered a hobbyist. But if he sits on his computer all day, talking to people, well, then he's working. And so that's the problem. And that's why if you really want to find masculinity, you don't find it in politics. Politics is just entertainment. It's just going on a camera, looking good, and manipulating people. Really, it's actually
but you need a different kind of political process if you don't like what you currently have, which is democracy. So
sure.